Rent free. Rent free. Rent free. Lives in your head rent free. Rent free. Rent free.
And let's get it going.
Lives in your head rent free.
Episode number 7, Tech Supreme, Rent Free with Tech Supreme. I am your host, Tech Supreme. I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope everyone's doing good. This is a Friday for me. So whenever you hear this, know that I'm in a good mood because it is Friday. Now, let's get the episode started. Now, thank you for everyone who's been listening to the last few episodes. I do appreciate everyone who's been commenting, sending it to their friends, telling my wife about it at work. Those people are awesome. I appreciate you guys. For my friends telling me to keep it going, they enjoy it. I appreciate you guys. So shout out to everyone who's been listening. This is it's fun to do. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy putting out my thoughts. I enjoy the response I've been getting on TikTok. That's been kind of crazy. The YouTube videos have been going pretty good. The growth is good, so I'm excited. I'm very excited about this. So without further ado, let's just get into the topics. The first thing I want to talk about is this new game came out. I know a lot of people don't care about video games, and I understand that, but this one is exciting for me. It's called Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it came out last year for the PC, and I downloaded it and gave it a go, but it didn't really play well on the PC for me, and I have a really strong PC, but it was kind of buggy and glitchy, and I really couldn't get the controls on the mouse and keyboard, but it just came out this week for the Xbox Series X and Series S, and it's pretty awesome. Basically, this is a game that's literally a flight simulator. Like, it's all it is you're a pilot, and you have to learn lingo, technical stuff. Obviously, it's not as technical as going to aviation school, but it's pretty realistic. It's a simulator. It's absolutely realistic. A lot of pilots play this. A lot of ex-pilots play it, and aspiring pilots. This is a thing that's a real fun technical game, and I've gotten 23 hours in it already this week since Tuesday. And that's kind of a lot if you think about it. I've spent a whole day playing this game, and it's addictive. It's fun. The technology that they used for it is kind of insane. It's basically Google Earth almost. Like anywhere, like I flew by my house, like me and my wife's house, our house, and like there was a red like thing dot in the backyard, which is actually our umbrella. Like we have a red umbrella, so it's that accurate. It's kind of insane. It's street by street. Well, probably one of the most advanced technological games that I've played. You can literally go anywhere. I went to my hometown in New Jersey, in Linden, New Jersey. I flew by an old apartment building, and I know exactly where everything was supposed to be, and it was there. So it's insane. Yeah, it's really fun in that regards. It's actually taken my focus away from Apex Legends, which is a game that I play a lot of. And it's been a great departure from the kind of stressful battle royale game that Apex Legends is. It's actually really relaxing, especially like once you understand how to fly a plane and like the trim and the rudders, and all of it, altitudes and how to read the meters. It's insane. It's very detailed, very fun. If you like a challenge, you like a smart game, this is it. If you like to travel, this is it. I've seen Bora Bora this morning, Egypt this morning. This week I've seen, excuse me, the Redeemer statue in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. It's kind of insane. So I highly recommend this game for people who love to travel, for people who love to see the world. Because you'll see a side of the world that you've never seen before. Like, just knowing where the pyramids and the Great Sphinx is in relativity to the actual town, which a lot of people don't know. It's, like, literally right on the border of town, and there's nothing past it. But, like, there's stuff all the way kind of like a peninsula around it. Like, there's stuff all the way around it. So, like, it's super residential, and then you look over, and then there's the pyramids. So it's, a lot of people, I think, in America, we're kind of ignorant to actual, like, what places are. So, like, to us, it's just in the desert somewhere. Like, no, it's actually inside of a city, just on, like, the extreme outskirts. Not extreme outskirts either, like, just the outskirts of it. It's kind of dope. So, like, there's a lot of the little things like that you wouldn't know. Like, I didn't know, like, Bora Bora was an island that had, like, houses on it and roads and, like, Could you imagine living on Bora Bora? How amazing would that be? So, like, for me, as someone who wants to see the world, who wants to travel, when I do leave the country, me and my wife leave the country. We try to leave every year. So I've in the last few years of my life, I've been well traveled to an extent. Still haven't crossed the big pond yet, but you know what I mean. Like I enjoy this game from a pure like satisfaction of like seeing something different and like seeing the world and knowing that for the places that I do know, like the back of my hand, like how accurate it is to that. So Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's amazing. Moving on, there's a movie that my wife put on called Blood Red Sky, and it's on Netflix. It was trending #1 on Netflix. Let me just look it up real quick. It's one of the wildest movies I've ever seen. Like, it's literally all over the place. It's like, what if we took all these different genres of movies and like threw it together, and like whoever wrote this was high. It was written by Peter Thorrath and Stefan Holtz. They were high. They had to have been high because basically it's like, I'm not going to give the plot away, but it's like a plane's getting hijacked. A lady has some disease that we don't know what it is. A kid is making friends with people, and so like so the plane gets hijacked, and then all of a sudden, the lady who's sick, you think it's like cancer or something crazy. Like you think it's something. You don't know what it is, and all of a sudden, it's like halfway through the first act, like it becomes a vampire thriller, and it's insane. It's a lot of different things happening, but I found myself super entertained by this movie. It came out July 23rd. It's a German film. It's an English-German film. It's all English. I think it's overdubbed. I'm not sure. It's really good overdubs if it is overdubbed. I don't think I ever really noticed it besides the beginning of it. Yeah, solid movie. Start to finish. It's really entertaining. It's the violence it's gratuitous violence, which you know your boy likes that. Yeah. One of the dudes was just pure evil. Like he was evil. It's crazy. Good movie. If you see it on Netflix, Blood Red Sky, it's worth a go. It's worth an evening viewing. Okay, another topic. This is one my wife suggested. We have my wife's friend, one of her best friends. Him and his husband. Every now and again, they do this thing where they come to the city, and they just like fucking bar hop almost, but it's like it's different. It's like it's a very like specific kind of like we're gonna go here. I want to try this place. So they Uber to all these different places. So they've done this for as long as I've known them. Maybe once a summer or once every now and again. So the other day, me and my wife decided that we were going to do this, and we had a blast. We went to the Grove, which is a neighborhood in St. Louis, and we just like kicked it on the entire street the entire day. Came home, passed out. Like we had a blast. And I think as an adult with stressful jobs, you have to have a release, a relaxation, and not everyone's a drinker. I am a drinker. I try to not overdo it, right? But I try to like drink in moderation. But like as an adult, day drinking is the shit. Now, when you're younger, it's all about the nightclub. It's all about the nightlife. It's all about being in a club drinking or being at a bar drinking. But as I gotten older, I appreciate the day drink a lot more. It gives you a chance to kind of recoup a little bit. I feel like when you night drink and you get shit-faced, your next day is terrible. But when you day drink, your next day is not terrible. Like, you sleep it off, you have plenty of time to sober up, and that next day is gold. Like, you straight. I appreciate that type of day drinking. I appreciate all day drinking adventures because it's so against the norm of, like, typical drinking that, like, it makes it an event to me. It makes it fun. So, let me know if you like day drinking. I know that's kind of a random topic, but, like, we really had a fucking good time. We went to I think we started off at Grace Meat and 3, if I'm not mistaken. And then we moseyed on down to Sanctuary, which is a tapas place, but they were like, no one was in there, so we just sat at the bar, had a couple tapas, a couple appetizers, like real small shit, because we just ate, and then the drinks were on fire, amazing. So we left there, and then we started walking down the street. We're gonna go to Attitude, I think, but they weren't open yet or something. But we were then going to go to Sway Dispensary just cause. But then I figured we're kind of tipsy. We probably shouldn't go to a weed dispensary tipsy. It's probably not a good idea. So we ended up going to Just John, which is an amazing bar. It's a gay bar, but we had the best time there. Like, we just kicked it and laughed, and my wife was buying shots for everybody that I had to pay for. It was hilarious. There was one person who like tried to start shit, but it was easily squashed, and he was super annoying. My wife took care of it. Cause like she's way better at that type of shit with me. I just be like, okay, let's just fight, or let's just escalate the situation. She's way more aggressive, but way more like shut that shit down, and I'm not like that. So yeah, we had a good time. Try it, guys. Try going out with your spouse on a day drinking adventure. We did it super responsibly. We actually Ubered from our house, so don't drive if you do this. Don't drink and drive at all. Period. Point blank. Your boy is very much against drinking and driving. That's kind of the reason I moved to Soulard a few years ago, is because I wanted to be accessible to a good time, but not have to worry about having to drive. So find yourself a nice neighborhood to hit up and do that shit. I think it's something that everyone should do every now and again. Moving right along, back to the video game news. I probably should have planned this a little bit better. Right, with Microsoft Flight Simulator being a video game, but this is actually kind of different. So Blizzard is a huge video game company, like AAA. Let's see, I know they've done Overwatch. They've done video game. Let me see real quick. They did World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, Warcraft. Did I say Warcraft already? World of Warcraft and then Warcraft, Diablo. They're huge. They're like AAA huge. And they're in a deep lawsuit for misconduct. They have this thing called the Cosby Suite. Stories about this hotel room that they had at BlizzCon, which is Blizzard's conference, in 2013, that was poorly used as an alcohol-filled party space for Blizzard employees and fans. So they the California law refers to a Cosby Suite, alleging that they were engaging in harassing of females in that suite. And it's modeled after, it was literally modeled to be, like, they knew what they were doing was so heinous, but they kind of, like, they didn't give a fuck that it was heinous. Like, they were like, they named it the Cosby Suite, which is after Cosby's, like, rape. The one guy, his name is Afra Sabi, he would like constantly harass women in the office, try to kiss them, put an arm on them, in view of other employees. So basically, and I think it's like it's a group that was within Blizzard that was just kind of just super disgusting. And he's a developer. The guy was a developer, and the lawsuits have come up. Employees are pushing charges. They're being protested against as the actual company. The company's trying to distance themselves from all this, saying like, "Oh, the bad apples are gone," but that's not true. Like, that's not true. Like, they had a super toxic work environment. Let's see, accusations of drunken harassment of female employees by male colleagues or supervisors, a culture of ignoring complaints and retaliation against women who made them, and widespread discrimination against women in areas such as equal pay and promotion opportunity. So this is some fucked up, like, male shit, and I hope they go down for this shit. Like I don't support anything about this. I don't support the company. Like, this type of shit should ruin a company. Like, there's no way a company should be able to, like, if you don't shut that shit down as a company owner, you have to shut that shit down. Like, you have to, as a company, it has to be your priority to protect people and to not have Cosby Suites. I don't think you can root out that type of evil out of the company. Like, I don't. It's kind of, I don't know, man. It's just, it's fucked up. And anyone who supports this company going forward, I have a problem with. Like, it's so hard because, like, it's not everyone in the company, but, like, if the company as a whole isn't creating that atmosphere, does it deserve to be where it is? If they don't protect the people, like, you should not have a rape culture in your corporation, right? That's, like, goes without saying. But, like, the stifling of complaints, and don't tell me you turned it around now. You just turned it around because you got caught and you got called out for it. So I don't want to hear that, like, they rooting things out and they making changes. Like, nah, like, you allowed it to happen once and then multiple times. I don't really fuck with you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's absolutely wrong. So fuck Blizzard. And I'll be watching the lawsuit, see what happens. Normally with these things, like, they usually kind of get swept under the rug. They buy their way out of it. But hopefully people don't forget and people will hold them accountable. I think the thing with council culture that bothers me is accountability. We'll get into that in a second. A lot of people upset about the baby's comments. We'll just skip over to the baby's comments. People upset about the baby. The baby made some really crazy comments on stage. He basically at Rolling Loud, he said some things about, basically it was just homophobic. Like, just at the end of the day, it was homophobic. I'm not gonna repeat it because it's triggering for people. And you know, when he got on stage and he does his things, he says his things, and then like they paint that as freedom of speech, and which is fine. Sure, have freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is fine, but like when it comes to hurting people, that's when I have a problem with it. When you're like trying to be hurtful and then you're spreading ignorance, and he's definitely spreading ignorance. And then you have the people who defend him, like T.I., who's already up against rape charges, and then you have Boosie, who's just an idiot. He had his son raped by a stripper at like 14 or 15 years old. So he's a disgusting human being. So they're defending the baby. The baby's doubling down on his comments. And they all point to Lil Nas X. Well, he can be living honest and he can speak his mind. But what he's saying is not negative towards anybody. He's saying accept me, accept my people, accept who we are. And you're like, fuck that, fuck them. And like, so like there's a huge difference in what's being said here where they're trying to paint it like it's freedom of speech. Even the racist people do that shit all the time. Like, oh, it's freedom of speech. No, it's hate speech. There's a difference between having the freedom of speech, which everyone has the freedom of speech, just not the consequences of that freedom of speech, right? The baby is not being canceled. He's being held accountable for his wrong thinking, his wrong actions, his hateful speech. Hateful speech. It's hateful. Like, that's it, dude. Like, I don't understand why people get so upset about homosexuality. It has nothing to do with you. It literally has absolutely zero to do with you. It couldn't have, like, if you aren't homosexual, it has nothing to do with you. Who cares? I mean, not even like, not who cares to be dismissive, but like, do what makes you happy. Love who you want to love. That has nothing to do with me. Who you love, whether homosexual or heterosexual, has nothing to do with me. I don't care about that. About the who. So like, to go out of your way to point out or be negative towards that, that's weird to me. Like, no one, like Philip DeFranco said, no one can make you suck a dick. No one can change your child's sexuality. Nobody. Not a person. Not a soul. If someone's homosexuality changes, or their sexuality changes from hetero to homosexuality, it's because they wanted it to. And that's fine. So like all this agenda stuff and all this toxic homosexuality, it really bothers me, especially in the black community. Because as a marginalized group, we know what that's like. So we should honestly be empathetic to all the other people who are marginalized. It's disheartening. It's sad. And I think the last episode I talked about how I like the baby's music. And I have a problem. I do not separate the music from the artist. I don't. If you say fucked up shit, it affects how I view your music. That's just how I am. If Picasso was fucking kids or some shit, I wouldn't like Picasso's art. I don't like Bill Cosby. I didn't like Michael Jackson. If you do some fucked up shit, I ain't gonna like your music. I ain't gonna like your art. I don't give a fuck. You gotta be a good person first for me to appreciate the things you create. Simple as that. And the baby, as soon as he opens his mouth, he says shit that don't make sense to the normal person. I don't fuck with that. Shout out Lil Nas X. He's having a hell of a year, hell of a run. His music is amazing. His new single with Jack Harlow is amazing. The video is amazing. If it pisses you off, you got whole issues. You need to go see a therapist. If Lil Nas X pisses you off, you need therapy. You need to talk to somebody ASAP about your problems. Because you got problems. You got all the problems. If a video of a man is expressing his sexuality in a healthy way causes you any type of grief, go see a therapist. Normalize seeing a therapist. You need a therapist, my friend. Simple as that. His new song, Industry Baby, that shit bumps. The beat is fire. The producers killed it. The video is on fire. Jack Harlow killed it. One of the best songs of the year. And Montero, Call Me By Your Name is a great song too. It's fucking fire. He's come such a long way from Old Town Road. And it's interesting because, like, he had to have, like... He couldn't come out being who he was at first. And that's fucked up. That's a problem we need to address in society. Like, Lil Nas X could not be the person he is today when he first came out because the world would have shut it down. And that's fucked up. I'm glad he is today who he is today. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. And I think, as far as, like, culture goes, he's going to go down in history as a pioneer for what he's doing right now. And I appreciate the fuck out of that. All right. That's my thoughts on that. That was a rant, but fuck it. Two human beings used bots and bought thousands of pairs of Travis Scott's shoes. Now, that literally robs everyone of the opportunity of getting these shoes. And I don't understand how Nike doesn't see this as a bigger problem than it is. The sneaker game, I just made a tweet about this morning because there was a pair of sneakers that I definitely wanted. I have a thing with lime green, like with Volt green shoes. Like, I love them. I love Volt shoes. I'm actually wearing a pair of Volt shoes now. Volt is like a tennis. It looks like a tennis ball. That's the name of the color. It's a kind of green shoe, but it looks like a tennis ball. I love that color shoe. And they had some dunks that came out today. And of course I missed it. And if you miss it by 10 minutes, it's over. Like, it's a wrap. So I didn't get a chance to even look at them while they were available. And as someone who used to buy sneakers a lot, shout out to Artifact. He used to work at a store. I think it was City Trends. I'm not sure the name of the store. But he used to put me in a game on sneakers. Like, he had me, like, that was my guy. Still is my guy this day. I haven't talked to him in a while. I hope he's doing well, him and his kids. But yeah, he used to put me in a game. Like, the Jordan retros would come out. He had my pair set aside. Like, that's my dude for that. And as soon as that opportunity like closed itself, because the store closed, and I just tried to still stay in the sneaker game, but I couldn't. I just can't keep up with bots. I can't keep up with the demand of the shoes. It just happens so fast that, like, I just don't care anymore. And the sneaker game is kind of spoiled because it used to be about, like, these are the shoes like you grew up with, the shoes that you couldn't have as a kid, and it was like the pure heart of it. Like, you love these shoes because you love what they represent. You love the time of your life it represents. You love the shoe, the person it represents. Like, as a fan of basketball, you love these Jordans, you love these LeBrons, and like you have these, like, I don't know. It was such a pure place. Sorry, my phone is ringing. But like the sneaker bots and these people like just like snatching up shoes, they kind of ruined it, man. And this is like, it's a cheap hustle. And I always have a problem, like, hustling in a certain way is like, it makes sense. Like, you flipping a house, that makes sense. But you like doing these sneaker things, and for the most part, you're only getting like $50 a pop. You're not a businessman. You're kind of just a skeevy ass person. Kind of just like a hustling ass person, like in a negative way. Like, not like, oh yeah, I'm a hustler. Like, no, you just kind of like being like a little ratty type person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna buy all these sneakers, and they make you come to me for them. Like, you're not Nike. Like, bro, you're not Nike. You're not Nike, bro. You trash, bro. Like, you go to Foot Locker and get all the shoes, you trash. You're just robbing people of opportunity to get something that they enjoy so you can get a quick couple dollars. I understand business. If you want a business like that, open a shoe store. But no, you don't want to do that. You want to take advantage of people, us. You're taking advantage of us. You're making a shoe that costs $180 and flipping it for $300. You're taking advantage of people. And you stocking up, you getting all the stock. More power to you for doing that. But like, it's corny to me. It's super corny to me. I'm not a fan of that at all. Of course, Travis Scott sneakers on my radar. No sneaker really is at this point. But I do know that they're gonna go for a lot, and those people are gonna make a lot of money. But like the kid whose mom was working at Nike, who got caught up in being like this super shoe flipper and got criminal charges brought up against him. These people need to get charges brought up to them. These bots got to end. I'm tired of bots. I'm tired of like not being able to get like consoles and clothes drops like Supreme and shit like that because of these bots. Like, it's corny, bro. Like, I understand using technology, but you're being corny, man. Just grab one and keep it moving. Like, you're not fly for trying to hustle people like that. Like, you're hustling the working class. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not being innovative with business. You're not providing a service. You're just hustling people out of a retail price for your own skeevy ass profit. The same thing with the people buying masks last year in bulk and buying toilet paper in bulk. You're an asshole. You're an asshole, bro. Fuck y'all. Simple as that. Last thing I'm going to talk about is ain't quite 10 topics. I only got 8, but y'all will be okay. We're already almost at 25 minutes. Is Scarlett Johansson is now suing Marvel. Now, this is something, if you were paying attention, that happened last year when they were talking about putting Black Widow on Disney+. She said something then, because like her contract is specifically for movies. So I think what this is going to do is, like, so basically she makes her money from box office sales. They had a 80 million at box office and 60 million on Disney Plus, which is a failure in Marvel MCU standards, but not post-pandemic standards, if that makes sense. So she took a huge pay cut. And while basically it's like, if you and I have a deal for something that you do, and like, all right, we're going to sell this, say you make a t-shirt, like you make a t-shirt, and I'm only going to sell this t-shirt at the farmer's market, right? And we have a deal that you get most of that money. You get a lot of money from that. Like that's how you're going to get paid, was me selling your t-shirt at the farmer's market. But then, without your having a say so, I go take it to Macy's and sell it. And I keep that money. That's kind of what they did to Scarlett Johansson. And that's kind of fucked up. I think it's going to set a precedent where people's contracts are going to change in entertainment, in which they're going to have to find a way to get compensated for streaming as well. Obviously, with the Black Widow, they charge $30 to stream it, and that's directly because of Scarlett Johansson and the character that she's played. And obviously, they put the money up for the movie, but she deserves some of that too, in my opinion. In my opinion, she deserves some of that money too. Because you can't take a product that we agreed on in an avenue in which we agreed to sell it and then move it somewhere else. Now, Disney fired back and said, you're being insensitive to the pandemic. Like, yes, but you're being opportunistic because of the pandemic. Give her some of that money. When she wanted to renegotiate a contract, they wouldn't hear it. Fucked up. All right? That's fucked up. So, this is a case that we have to watch. Obviously, she's done with Disney because they killed her character in Endgame anyway. So she has every reason to sue them now. I am on her side on this from a business standpoint. It's only fair. You taking it and moving it to different avenues to make money and cutting her out of it, that's not ethical to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's going to be the end of our podcast, episode 7, Rent Free with Tech Supreme. These are the things that are stuck in my head, living rent free. Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you see this on TikTok, hit the follow button. I appreciate you spreading the word of this podcast. It's a thing that I love doing. I love just talking. I love just saying how I feel. And I'm gonna keep doing it as long as people keep listening and people are listening. So if you are on YouTube, hit one of these buttons to see the next video. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good weekend and be kind to everyone that you come in contact with. Peace out.
Lives in your head rent free.